Um, like I was saying, I can assure you that today's session is going to be so impactful. You have nothing to lose. You have so much to gain and benefit. I'm sure that most of the people who are here are teachers, but I know that even aside from teachers, there are other people who are here who are just, people who are going through their academic work, right? Those who are doing probably their PhDs and other academic set endeavors, right? So if you are ready, let me see that you are ready and we go right in. One more time, please type in you're ready. I really need this engagement. If you notice, I'm trying to get more engagement because engagement, it has a way of stirring up the atmosphere and making everything more interesting. Thank you. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. So we're going to begin shortly. As soon as Mr. Rotimi give us the go ahead, we will begin. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. I need to
All right.
see more comments coming in. All right. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. I have, as has been mentioned, Mr. Sam Movie is a seasoned professional. He and I have been close for over 7 years, and I just ask him to come on so that he can engage with us and share experiences. If you're a lecturer or you're a university student or you are any academician that is also into projects, you will benefit a great deal from the presentation today. So I want us to sit back and enjoy ourselves as we get Mr. Movie to handle the session. He's currently going to have a class with his students, so it might be a little bit faster. But at the end of his session, we'll take a few questions. Then I'll handle a few more things that I would like to share with us, especially in the area of research and some use cases, as we have always known that that's what we focus on, being able to use the application to do what you need to do. So I'll just allow Sam to take over. And Sam, if you want to share your screen, you can go ahead and share your screen.
All right. Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Let me share my screen. All right. Please let me know if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the organizers of this webinar. It's really an honor and a privilege for me. Like Rotimi has rightfully said, we go way back. And when I received a call to be part of this noble act, I just couldn't resist and I had to agree. So it's an honor and also a privilege for me to share and to learn also. Because as the saying goes, no knowledge is a waste. And the learning curve will never go down. It's always going to go high. As academics, we're always learning. We all learn new stuff. As an academic, when you get to the point where you think that you are not learning, then I think you are done at that time, whether you have a PhD or you don't have a PhD. Now, we are going to talk about basically a topic that is rather, how do I put it, controversial. I use that word controversial in the sense that some people believe that AI is here to destroy. Some people believe that AI is here to ease the stress of life. But in between both, there is a thin line called ethics, which we are going to hammer on at the beginning of this presentation before we dive into how to use this tool proper in terms of research as academics or as postgrad students or even as seasonal researchers. All right. I will not bore you with the whole details of what AI is and what it is. I believe we all know what AI is, artificial intelligence, and what generative artificial intelligence is, machine learning, large language models, and GPTs. One of the popular GPTs out there is ChatGPT, and I must confess, personally, I use it a lot on a daily basis. I use it to help arrange my schedule. I use it to prepare my lesson plans. I even use it in reviewing papers as well, even reviewing thesis. I use that a lot. So, first things first, we'll talk about the ethics first. Like I said earlier, the idea of AI, using AI for writing any form of research paper or any form of research dissertation or research thesis. Now, AI models excel, at generating ideas. We all know that. But we must take care when it comes to originality, specifically when it comes to generating certain content. So specific prompt yield better results. One of the main issue with people have with the use of AI is lack of knowledge when it comes to prompt engineering. How to prompt the machine to give you whatever result you want. But one thing you need to understand that in as much as it's good for us to get whatever ideas that we need, originality is a key. It also helps us sample data creation. It can help us create sample data set, to test any form of code or algorithm which we develop. Currently, we are working on what we call additive manufacturing in my research group, where we are trying to infuse computer vision and robotics in terms of 3D printing. And we have a model that we developed, but in terms of generating data sets to test our model, we use AI sometimes to generate some of these data sets, to test our models, to optimize our models or our algorithms, to test if they are okay. Then the last part is the analytical part of it, which is data analysis. Now, you will agree with me that large language models can support both qualitative and quantitative research, but with limitations. So they only excel at producing analysis scripts and can also assist in qualitative coding. But human oversight is a very, very crucial part, which we cannot overlook. Now, AI in manuscript writing. When you want to write a manuscript, be it a thesis, be it a final year project, or let's say an article, a review article, an empirical article, there are certain things you need to understand. First, you need to write the manuscript, you need to edit the manuscript, then you have to be cautious as well. So AI can help us organize the literature or the structure of our thesis or our manuscript. It can help us do that. It can help us build the literature which we want, and can compose any analysis based on the data and tables. However, it is not suitable for writing the entire manuscripts from the scratch because of ethical concerns. So it is possible for you to ask AI to help you to generate the format which you intend to use for your article or for your thesis, but it is unethical to allow the machine or the tool to write the entire paper for you because of its originality. All right. Now, the other part is the editing part. Now, of course, a lot of people will agree with me, for those who have been using it, that AI excels at revising and editing existing content. You understand? Basically, it searches the web, gets existing content. It's good at revising those content, summarizing those content, editing those content however we please, potentially demonstrate or giving us a revised version of whatever thing we want. Now, in this particular aspect, sometimes I have a thesis that I read from the beginning to the end, and I don't really understand what the person is trying to tell me. It's easy for me to just upload a thesis on any artificial intelligence tool like ChatGPT, and it tries to explain what the person intends doing to me. So it gives me better clarity of what the person was doing or what the person is intending to do. Now, in doing all this, we have to, like I said, we have to follow policy because of ethical reasons. So AI policies among publishers are very, very common. These are policies that we must know as potential postgrad students, as potential academics, as even students, you understand? Now, AI authorship attribution. Now, most publishers now require acknowledging AI use, but some don't allow you to use it. AI as an author, all right? So AI can meet authorship criteria of understanding or concerning and taking responsibility for that content. So basically you could cite that, oh, I use this AI tool for this particular user. You shouldn't claim that it is your knowledge. All right, then usage policies. Publishers are also developing policies on AI. used in manuscript preparation and review. So there's a clear guidelines that must be followed. So clear guidelines are needed to avoid a wild west. Then legal consideration. You see, it's as a result of all these policies that big databases like Scopus created their own artificial intelligence, which is one of the prompts which we are going to use for interactive sessions today, because of issues of authorship, issues of legal and ethics consideration. All right. So one of the tools we are going to use is an AI tool developed by Scopus. A lot of people don't know what Scopus is. Scopus is one of the largest database for academic writing. Now, in this business, if you want to be your articles to be accepted, or you want to publish your findings in an impact paper, and it should be a journal that is indexed in either Scopus or indexed in the Web of Science. So there have been a lot of controversies over the years on people using ChatGPT to write papers, and there is no originality to that. So as a result, Scopus and its team decided to build their own. So we will look at that later. Now, in order to conclude this part before we start the main gist properly, you need to understand that AI is here to help us. Yes, but in as much as it's here to help us, we need to follow ethical guidelines. We can't interact with it to help give us a guideline on how we intend to solve our problems. If we are lost and we intend to build a literature review, let's say we have a topic and we intend to find deep literature, and we don't know how to go about it, it is advisable, it is allowed to use an AI tool to give you a structure on how to move forward. But telling the AI to write the entire review for you from the beginning till the end is not acceptable because of lots of reasons. All right. There are reasons like plagiarism, reasons like facts that are not real, because this model goes into the internet and gets some data that probably have not been validated, and that could be a problem. All right. I will stop sharing this particular screen and I will open another screen. Please let me know if you can see the second screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Leveraging on artificial intelligence for effective academic writing and strategies. Can you see that?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you so much. So now that we are done with the ethics part of using AI for research, let's dive into the whole thing proper. All right, and see how we can leverage on these tools to write effectively, and how we can even strategize or plan our writing with the use of these tools. Right? So first, this presentation, we have presentation outline, AI, artificial intelligence, and the use case. Now, as researchers, when you want to write a paper or let's say an academic thesis, first things first, you have to identify a research topic. Then you have to conduct a literature review. You have to formulate objectives, research objectives. Then you have to choose what methods you intend to use. Now, you can only choose the method you intend to use based on your findings in literature. So without proper literature, choosing the methodology, it's a problem. So you cannot skip any of these stages. You have to go step by step, because one stage depends on the other. So upon carrying out a detailed literature review, you have built your research gap. You know where the problem is. You either support what is available online, or you criticize what is available online. And then it is time for you now to propose your own strategy or your own methodology. Of course, based on certain theories that must be followed. After that, you now develop your plan, your research plan. Now you develop this plan so as to have a smooth form of data collection. When your plan is not properly articulated or properly planned, data collection becomes a problem. You don't get the required data that is needed for the said analysis that you intend to carry. So you have proper data collection, you now analyze your data, then you now draw your conclusion, then you produce your report. If it's a final year project, if it's a master's thesis or a PhD dissertation. These are basically the entire policy, which steps which you will follow. Now, many, many years ago, achieving all this would have been a daunting task, or it is even a daunting task. For many of us who had done our studies many years ago, they will agree with me that achieving all these processes wasn't easy. For many, once you start your doctoral studies, the first thing they will tell you is to go and do your literature review. They will tell you to go and read over 1,000 or 10,000 papers. I remember back then, my supervisor told me to go and read 5,000 papers. So I sat down and I thought, am I really ready for this? Is it possible for one to read 5,000 papers? Is it possible for one to read 1,000 papers or 100 papers? But the point there was that when you read a lot of papers that relates to your proposed topic, it gives you clarity, it gives you understanding of what has been done, what has not been done, and what could be done. You understand? So, but now, if you look at it, with the advent of AI, achieving all this can be done in days or weeks. It all depends on what we call prompt engineering, on your ability to use the right tools at the right time. You have your research topic. Conducting a literature review could be easy. There are AI tools now that you can use to conduct a detailed literature review. And of course, it's going to work with certain database, the main databases. It's not just going to work with Google Scholar, it's going to work with world-renowned database like Web of Science and Scopus and all that. But what could be daunting back then could be done in days now. And once you have your literature, the entire process becomes smooth. All right. So we defined the technology as what? The technology that enables us to compute and machine or to simulate human intelligence or any problems. All right. Artificial intelligence can be defined as a way of engineering or creating any intelligent machine, particularly intelligent computer programs that can perform tasks requiring human-like intelligence. One of those tasks is this. You have a task to find or to read 1,000 papers. AI tools could help you search for this paper based on certain prompts, based on certain keywords, streamline these numbers of papers for you, the way you classify them, and it gives you heads up on what you are looking for. All right. So like I said earlier, a lot of people see AI as life-breathing technology. Some people see it as a problem. Some see it as something that has come to take over everything. So areas we'll be discussing is how to build your literature, or how to build your introduction, how to generate your research questions, how to do your literature, how to get your conceptual framework, how to get your methodology, then of course, referencing. Now we have different tools that you can use for all these applications. There are some tools that you can use for all these applications. There are some tools that are specific for a particular application. There are some tools that are not specific. All right, so today we are going to talk about some few of them and see how we can work with them. So like I said, it's all about prompting the right command. Sometimes I tell my students that rather than tell ChatGPT to do it for you, why don't you ask ChatGPT, how do I do it? Because I handle students on a daily basis here. As I speak to you now, I have a class that is going on. I gave them a task, and I told them, rather than ask ChatGPT to do it for you, tell ChatGPT to tell you how to do it, because I have a way of detecting if you use ChatGPT. So prompt engineering is key. How you instruct the machine or the specific instruction you give the machine determines what it gives back to you. So we can identify and analyze research gap regarding the impact of transportation or cost or its livelihood in urban residents. We can do anything with it. So this is a simple example. If I want to find the impact of high transportation cost on livelihood on urban residents, so I could just type this in any of these tools. I could type it in ChatGPT, in Scite AI, Scopus AI, Copilot, Meta AI, Cloud. There are so many of them. Perplexity, SciSpace, so many of them. How we prompt it is very, very important. So like I said, today we are just going to talk about a few. We're not going to have time to play with all of them. Most of these tools are not free. Some of them, or majority of them, are paid tools. Some of them, on an individual level, it will be expensive for you to pay, but on an institutional level, it's cheaper. The one I use most, which is Scopus AI, I use an institutional subscription, so it's easy for me. I don't have to pay a dime. My ChatGPT is paid for. I pay for it sometimes from my own pocket. Site AI, sometimes when I need it desperately, I also just make a subscription for that. So it's all about identifying the tools that work for you for a particular purpose. So today I am going to show you some of the tools which I use for conducting a systematic or a detailed literature review. Mind you, I work with all platforms, depending on what I'm looking for. I don't concentrate on one platform. I don't give this particular platform the entire task to do everything for me. No. What I do is I use ChatGPT to arrange the structure of what I want. Then I pick it, then I go to Site AI, or I go to ScienceFile, I go to Scopus, and I say, okay, I need literature. And I need literature from known databases, like Scopus or like Web of Science, all right? So now we'll start with Scopus database. We'll try to make it interactive. Like I said, I'll share my screen. Scopus is one of the largest databases for academics. It's not the only database, but it's one of the largest for academics. You cannot access it for free, but there are some features that can be accessed for free. Once you sign up, you create an account. It's free to create an account. You can create an account, go to scopus.com under Elsevier, just create a simple account, but you will not have access to the AI specifically. You will not have access to some other features, but you can do what we call a systematic literature review. I will explain what that means shortly before we proceed to use the AI itself. So the first is here on the slide saying we should go to scopus.com. So let's open my screen and let me go to scopus.com. So this is scopus.com. Please let me know if you can see my screen, scopus.com. Let me log out. All right, can you see my screen? Elsevier. Hello?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, so let me refresh. All right, so I go back. Let me just click home and take me home. Log out. All right. Like I said, just go to scopus.com. For those who don't have an account, you can just create an account. It's free. Opening an account is basically free, but you will not have full access to it. But once you open an account, you have full access to document, authors, and organizations. But Scopus AI, as you can see here, you won't have that access because only those who use paid versions have these access. And even these access is not also for all paid versions. There are some certain restrictions. I was privileged to have these access because when this AI was launched, I think around August last year, when they started speaking about it, my university put me in a team to be part of the training for the use of this. But prior to this Scopus AI, what we normally do there was if we are looking for documents, all we needed to do was to come to the search buttons and write in our keywords. For instance, I'm looking for, let's say, autonomous. Oh, sorry. All right, autonomous. I put it inside a semicolon. Let me see, put it here. So I just type in the keyword which I want. Then I put a capital and I'm looking for autonomous vehicles, for instance, A&D. Then the next thing I put vehicle. So this is how we do it before. Then here I select what? Articles. What am I looking for? I'm looking for articles. I'm looking for abstracts. I'm looking for keywords. If I'm looking for the authors, I'm looking for source or the date. Whatever I'm looking for, I can select it here. So back then we didn't have the AI, so we did it manually. We call it systematic literature review. All we just need to do is type in the keywords, then click search and wait for it to go. And it searches the internet and tries to get words for us that looks like this. So there's a syntax error somewhere. Let me correct this somewhere. Let's click search again. All right. So as you can see, over 100,000 documents was found. Now, this 100,000 documents that was found, there is no way I can read all these documents. So what we did back then was we filter our search. First things first, we select the date. So I want documents, let's say from 2020, 15, or 2020 till date, 2020, 2020 to 2024, and put 2024. Then I research, then you see it has reduced to 53,000. So you see, initially we had 100,000 documents. Now we have 53,000 documents. So this was this was how we were doing it back then. You understand? What we do is the next thing we now look at it. Okay, I'm looking for papers that use this keyword autonomous and vehicle in the field of engineering or in the field of computer science. In mathematics, no, I don't need it. In physics, astronomy, yes, I need it. In social science, I don't need it. Okay, so what kind of papers am I looking for? Am I looking for articles or conference paper or book chapters or review? So if you look at it, articles has over 25,000 papers. So back then we do this, we select what we want, we filter it the way we want, then we now click on limit 2 and it drops the paper down for us to 22. So imagine doing all this entire process, and at the end of the day, you now start analyzing it. You click on analyze results and you start doing all those processes to analyze the papers to see what paper has what impact from what year to another, by source, by author, or by location, or by affiliation. All that process, you don't need to do that process anymore. All we just need to do is to go back to our AI. Let me go back to Scopus, the homepage. Then I click on Scopus. Now, Scopus AI. Now, if I want to type anything, I'll just say, I need papers on papers on autonomous vehicles. It could be any field. Sorry, my cap lock is always on. All right. So just papers. I need papers. I need review papers because I'm trying to build a literature. I need review papers on autonomous vehicles. All right. So it's going to search and it's going to bring out a summary for me on what I typed. So you see what it wrote here: to assist you in finding review papers on autonomous vehicle, I have identified several relevant abstracts. Now, the AI, it's more specific in terms of our searching. Back then, we had to go through this length of analyzing the result of entering keywords like autonomous vehicle, and begin to separate them based on year, based on publication, based on affiliation, based on that. But right now, we don't need to do all that thing. All we just need to do is click on the AI and tell the AI what we want. So I need review papers on autonomous vehicles. So basically, it's going to assess me to find review papers on autonomous vehicles, and it has identified the relevant abstract. The abstract that is relevant. It will not waste time, because now, what it's doing now, it's not giving me papers that has the word autonomous vehicles. Rather, it's giving me papers that has autonomous vehicles that are relevant, not just having the keywords. Okay, now, why do I need autonomous vehicles? I need papers for autonomous vehicles because I want to build what? A control system. Autonomous vehicles for control systems. Okay, I need papers for autonomous vehicles for self-driving controls. So, self-driving control. I need review papers on autonomous vehicle. Why do I need review papers for autonomous vehicle? Because I want to build a self-driving controller so that the car can drive itself. So it's going to give me now papers that are relevant, okay, for self-driving technology. You understand? So for review papers or for self-driving cars, several abstracts are provided. So now it gives me all the abstract and also the references on where I can get them. Then if I'm not satisfied with what it has given me, it has given me, let's say, linear quadratic regulation control, a feedback local optimality control, a PID control, model predictive control, pure pursuit model control, or cooperative adaptive cruise control. If I'm not satisfied with either of all this, now it has an option called an expanded summary. So I could go ahead and tell it, okay, give me more stories. I don't understand what you're saying. I click on it and it picks each of them and begins to tell me everything I need to know about the initial findings. Now, if I'm still not satisfied with what it has produced for me so far, it still has other options. It gives me a summary at the end of my query. And it also gives me some deeper questions. It asks me some questions that will help me broaden my search in terms of literature. Let's assume that I'm not too satisfied with what it gave me. It gave me a summary of the challenges in autonomous vehicle control so far. Now I know the challenges. I don't need to read over 100 papers or 2,000 papers to find out the common challenges that self-driving controllers have. The AI system in Scopus is able to tell me that, and it has given me a summary. But then it has also given rise to some questions. Now, what are the key challenges in developing autonomous vehicles for a control system? Specific key question. So if I want to go deeper, I will click on this, and it goes further and it explains it for me. Now, this process is an iterative process. You can continue this process the same way we started from the beginning. It gets to the point where I still don't understand. Now, key challenges in developing autonomous vehicles and controls. It tells me, one, you have the drive-by-wire technology, you have the sensing and information fusion, you have control algorithm, it has safety and reliability. Then we have passenger safety and system robustness. Now, these are common challenges with the existing technology. This is one of the reasons why this technology is not in full active mode yet in all our vehicles, in all our new vehicles. But then, if I want to understand deeper, I still have to do something. I can click on the expanded summary again for that first question. So it gives me everything that I need to know concerning the technical challenges, the safety challenges, the ethical challenges, and the regulatory challenges. Then at the end of it again, it gives me a summary. So it's easy for me to make a comparison between this summary and the first summary to see which one answers my research questions. Which of this review answers my research questions before I dive deeper into a further literature search. So if either of this is not what I want, then I have the second option again to answer the second question. How do autonomous vehicles adapt to different environmental conditions for self-driving control? So you see, this question is more precise. The first question is asking what are the challenges that these cars have? But the second question is asking that, let's assume we have this. How would they adapt in different environmental conditions? Of course, we have different environmental conditions. We have rain weathers, we have sunny weathers, you have snowy weathers, you have heavy traffic regions, we have dense traffic regions, we have less traffic regions. So this question is more specific, and it's going to tell us some of the problems that we have. So we click on it, and it goes deeper again into the Scopus database, and it gives us exactly what we want. If we don't like it, then we click on expanded again. Now, one very beautiful thing to note is, in as much as we can go deep and be taking this process step by step and be going deeper and deeper to compare each summary, for each of it, it gives us references and we can access these references. So you can see the first challenge it gave us here, it gave us 2 references. Now, reference 1 and reference 2. If you look at on the other side, on my right-hand side, you look at the first reference is a model control of self-driving cars trajectory for lane change maneuvers. So if you want to read more, all you need to do is click on it and you have an expanded view here, which you can see and read well. If you want to open the documents in details, you have the option of also opening the documents in detail. Now you have the entire document here. So if you want to read it, you can read it. If you want to download the file, you can download the file. So this is how flexible this Scopus AI is. Now, another beauty about Scopus AI is it can also help us write a summary based on all our findings. So if I want a summary, it can write a summary for me. Or if I want to take these key challenges now and build on them, it's pretty easy now. Now, if you observe, it has given me some key references. So all I need to do is just copy this, then go to another AI tool. I could go to ChatGPT, I go to SciSpace, or I go to Cite AI, and I can expand each of these with this particular literature. If it's okay by me, then I can rewrite it in my own tool, because of course you cannot copy and paste because it's against, ethically is wrong. You have to cite, you have to read the paper and rewrite it or paraphrase it to suit you better. You cannot take someone else's word and claim it is your word, or you cannot plagiarize, take someone's word and claim it's yours. Now, another very interesting thing to note about Scopus AI also is, if you go back to our initial way of which we do research, the systematic literature review, where all we do was to come here. I have autonomous vehicle. I search. Sorry, the prompt. Here you have to make sure that your script is written well, okay? The syntax has to be written well, or else you have errors. Okay, now, the old ways, we had papers like this. If I want to visualize any of these papers, I want to visualize all these papers. Now, all I just needed to do was go to Analyze Results. Then I have a lot of visualizations. So I have to pick from whichever one I want. But then again, it's 100,000 papers. So it doesn't make sense. There are some papers that are not relevant. There are some papers that we call, there are some outliers. By outliers, there are some papers that they don't really contribute anything to the studies. They just had the word autonomous and vehicle mentioned in them. So they are not really related to the studies. So hence, we don't need it. But we cannot ascertain that. The only way we can do that is to start filtering this paper one step at a time. And at the end of the day, when we streamline it to one particular year to another, to engineering, to articles, then we have, let's say, 10,000 papers, then we can visualize the 10,000 papers. But with the advent of Scopus AI, it's much easier. I don't need to do that. I have what we call a concept map. So for everything that I have charted, I've asked it to tell me papers or the challenges that I have in autonomous vehicle here. And I want to see the concept map. It gives me, I click on concept maps and it generates a very beautiful concept map for me. And it shows the relation from traffic control to highway administration to traffic management, down to software reliability, public, road and statistics, data mining, down to the ethics itself. So it gives me a concept map that shows the relationship of the key variables, dependent variables, and the key mediating variables and the key independent variables. So it's much easier for me. That way, I now understand what my topic is. I understand what my literature should be all about. Then I can start building my literature. So if I want to be more specific, All right. I could type here and say, I need, let's say, I need a summary. Okay, summary, or I need research gaps. Research gap in the study of autonomous vehicle. Research gap in the study of autonomous vehicles for self-driving. So I don't want to read all those papers. I don't want to stress myself to start generating. And I trust only Scopus. I want to use Scopus database. Then I just click on it, and it's going to go and get some papers that research gap in autonomous vehicle. In the study of autonomous vehicle control for self-driving, several research gap has been identified. Okay, so these are some of the research gap that have been identified. Now, those days it was difficult because all we needed to do was to read these papers, understand the papers, then try to relate them. Okay, this guy used this method, but this method and this method, did they take this into consideration? Now, sensor data and eco driving. There is a need to understand how real-world autonomous vehicle sensor influence identification of critical eco driving parameters. That is one. Implementation challenges. Practical implementation of some of these sensors. There are some companies today that use what we call LiDAR sensors in autonomous driving, and some companies use only cameras. But some companies believe that when you fuse both cameras and LiDAR sensors together, they can compensate each other and both of them can work seamlessly and they will give you a better feedback and better control of your self-driving car. You understand? Now, this is made easier with Scopus AI. I don't need to read 1,000 papers to tell me all these things. First, I can generate all the references I want. If I click here, it gives me reference. If I want more reference, I could tell it to give me more reference. If I'm not satisfied with the amount of reference it's given me, you have nothing to worry about. Scopus AI is able to give you the major challenges. It's able to generate a summary for you of what the possible research gap could be. Or you could ask Scopus AI what methods are used for self-driving cars. Okay, for autonomous vehicles, you could type again what methods are used or what methodologies, what methods are used for controlling autonomous vehicles. Let me clean this. So rather than read so many papers to tell you different methods, this guy goes into Scopus database, looks for all the methods that have been used for that, and it generates that for you. All right. Now, let me use self-driving cars. Self-driving cars. Self-driving cars. Now, if you observe, I wrote autonomous vehicles, but because that word autonomous vehicle, it couldn't find papers that could give me comprehensive methods that were used. So I looked for the other synonym that was close to autonomous vehicle, which is self-driving car. So I changed that autonomous vehicle to self-driving cars, and it was able to bring out this for me. So to control a self-driving car, various methods and technologies are employed to ensure safe and efficient one. Speed and steering. You have fuzzy logic controllers, you have path planning trajectory, you have geometric analysis, you have model predictive control, poor pursuit. Now, these are existing methods. These are existing methods. Now, I can tell you for a fact that this model predictive control and this path planning trajectory planning and which other one were one of the earlier stage of control. But these days, with the help of cameras, radar, LiDAR sensors, GPS, we are having proper control of these vehicles. In other words, we have what we call an adaptive feedback system, a system that is able to adapt itself to change. So I don't need to read so many papers. Whatever field of study you want, you can answer your research questions using Scopus AI. Scopus AI can point you to the direction on where to go and what to do. So like I said, it's pretty easy to use. As long as you have the university subscription, you can subscribe, have an account. With Scopus AI, it's free to have an account. They don't charge for having an account. It's basically free. You can use it and there is no problem. Now, once you are done with Scopus AI, you have some datas, you like the datas, you want to expand the datas and see how it works. Now, there is another tool that you can use to expand that. Now, this one is called a Scite AI, Scite.ai. So Scite.ai is also a paid tool, but you are limited to some free prompts, let's say 3 or 4 prompts. So all you just need to do is click on your assistant. Then let's see, let me pick something that I found here. Let's see, controlling this. So I want literature that use this. So I can now come here and ask this to build the literature for me. All right, so kindly all let's see, which prompt will I use? All right. Out some recent literature for Control V for the use of fuzzy logic. Control. Fuzzy logic control 2, control, let me delete this, to adjust speed and steering based on driving habits, blah, blah, blah. And let's see. Oh, sorry, I've exceeded my trial. So let me use a different email. Copy this so I don't have to type it again. So let me log out. Let me see if I can use another email to. Okay. Right. These are all paid tools. So like I said, I use them based on tree file. No, I don't need to. No. I need to pay for it. So I just, aha. Okay, so I click on the assistant. So what I found on Scopus, I need to find more literature. So I paste this here. Oh no, still asking me for subscription. So basically what it does is it brings out a list of, let me see if I can go back so you can see. Okay. What it does basically is to bring out a list of all literatures for you. Where's my slide? I have a screenshot there. Okay, so if you can see my slide, what it does is when you paste what you found on Scopus here, it will bring out a list of literatures for you, as you can see on this slide. So it brings out a lot of literature for you. It expands what you found in Scopus. And at the end of it, it gives you a summary also of what you found in Scopus. So you see, by leveraging on different tools, you're able to answer the questions, get your research gap at the shortest possible time, and also expand the literature, getting more literature using other tools like Scite AI. And also, the beauty about it is you can set it the way, however you want to set it, all right? You can list articles or always use reference. If you want the articles to come out with references, you don't want it to come out with references, let the assistant decide whether the references are needed or not. It can do that, or it overrides it, or you specify the range of topic publication types, the journal name. If you have the journal name at this point, since you are bringing it from Scopus, it means you have the journal name. Since you are bringing it from here, so I have this journal, this particular journal here. So I will just copy the journal name and I put it Sorry. I put it here and I ask the assistant to go ahead to filter and search for more papers for me, telling the assistants to also use papers from my dashboard collection that I have built. Now, there is what we call dashboard building. You can create your own dashboard. You can download a database and upload it in your own dashboard so it can compare. So if you want to download or create your own database or your own dashboard, let's see. Where is that file? Okay. So let's assume this is a paid version. You come to product, you have dashboards. So you click on it to create your own dashboard. So if you want to create your own dashboard, you can create dashboard. You understand? These are all referencing managers. Mendeley and Zotero are all referencing managers. All you just need to do is download your papers and submit all the papers here. You upload them, add them in the description. So when you are prompting it here, you are prompting it here, or rather here, when you are prompting it here to find all these papers for you, it is possible for you to specify and tell the assistant to use papers from your dashboard that you have uploaded, that you got from any database, okay, to build your research for you. So you control the length of response of the assistant. Also, you can refine this with another tool. You can use SciSpace. SciSpace is another tool that can be used. You go to the website, you copy what we found on Scopus, and you put it on SciSpace, and you expand it. Let me see if I have SciSpace here. I think I do have SciSpace somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I have SciSpace here. Okay, so you have SciSpace here, so I can copy whatever I paste there and find it to blah, 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 ensuring lane position, and I click on enter and see what it finds for me to expand it more. All right, so you can take from one platform and bring it here. Now you see the beautiful thing about SciSpace, it answered my questions and gave me 5 more papers. But because I'm using the free version, if I had the paid version, I have 10 papers, and you can see it gives me some recent papers that I could use. And the beauty about these papers are, if I look at all these papers and I want to understand what they have done to see their impact, it's pretty easy for me. All I do is click on the papers, and it tells me all I need to know about the papers, everything I need to know about the paper, the abstract, everything I need to know about it. If it's okay for me, then I'll add it in my archive. And finally, I can always go back to any of these AI like ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, okay, use this to write this particular segment of my literature for me. Then you can also use other AIs like Napkin AI. Napkin AI basically helps you design your framework. So basically, this has to do with diagrams. You go to Napkin AI, easy, type in your topic and whatever, and what it does for you is it generates. Now this is Napkin AI, all right. So if you want visuals, let's get Napkin for free. So let's see if I can create conceptual framework for my autonomous vehicles and see if it can give me pictorial diagram framework showing my what you call it, dependent variables and independent variables for work, or for what am I using? Personal use, school, education, and put it, I'm a student, education. All right, then what again? Select the school, primary, university, high. All right, then which of the following best describes your role? I'm a teacher. Okay, presentation, what are you planning to use Napkin for? Presentation, blah, 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 yeah, presentation. So thank you, Samuel. Then off I go. So create my first napkin. So by pasting my text content here, so I need a framework for the development. I need a framework for the development of a self-driving car. Okay, then I click enter. Or let me type it somewhere else and paste, sorry. I need a framework for self-driving car. We need so I copy this. Got then my napkin. All right, so I paste it here. Control V. All right. So we generate videos, enter. All right. All right. So you see, it has given me some options. Self-driving car framework, you have the user interaction facility, seamless communication between the vehicle and its navigation ensures precise routing and environmental awareness for autonomous vehicle. Then, of course, safety. If you look at it, these are the key features of developing a self-driving car. The self-driving car has to be able to navigate itself. It has to be safe. Then again, you have the user interface. Then, of course, you can choose any design which I want. If I want this to look like this. Okay, so this is basically how it works. You start with one tool and you go to the next tool and you come back to another tool. So Napkin AI will help you prepare your framework in case you have to develop a framework for your entire research. All right, then also you have Copilot, similar because of time. I wouldn't have time to go through this, but my main focus today is basically on Scopus. I took the liberty of putting all the AIs for you, the tools which I use occasionally in the entire slide. So I will upload the slide later. I will share it for you guys. But the most emphasis is, or my emphasis is on the use of Scopus AI, because I believe that this is the future. Because if you are in academics, you will agree with me that publishing paper is one thing, but publishing in the right database or in the right journal is the main issue. A lot of people find it difficult to publish papers, not because they are not good enough, but because the publishing sphere has been monopolized. So you cannot just write a paper and publish in any journal. No, it has to be a Scopus Index journal or a Web of Science Index journal. These days, if you are an academic or you are a postgraduate student, they will tell you that one of the criteria for your graduation is you have to publish a Scopus paper or a Web of Science paper. If you are an academic, they will tell you that before you can get promoted from one level to another, you have to publish in Scopus. So you see, Scopus Web of Science is the benchmark, which is why this is revolutionary. This is a game changer for many who are into writing. If you know how to prompt the AI of Scopus, you will be able to reduce the work of building your literature from weeks to a couple of days. And I hope that when we practice all this, we'll have better understanding and better clarity. And if you have any issues, of course, you can also contact me through the organizers. I think they will have my details for those who might have some personal issue or have some issues using the AI. Or for those people who might want to try, allow me give you access to my account. If you want to try for 1 or 2 sessions, I can easily give the organizer my account and see if you guys can try it. But of course, it's going to be restricted because it's based on the organizer's will, if he's willing to give it out to you guys. But then again, it's all about practice, practice, practice. And the more you practice, the better you become in the use of all these tools. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Sam, can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you have like 5 to 10 minutes for questions, and then we can
Yes,
open it
please.
up if
Yes,
we
please.
have.
Yes, please.
So if you do have questions, please let me see how we can do this. So I'm going to allow mics for every one of us for a short while. So if you have a question, just so that we can use the next 10 minutes for questions, and then I'll handle my own a few things. I had wanted to demonstrate SciSpace in full details, but good thing you alluded to it. But we'll focus. My session will focus a little bit on SciSpace to just give us
That'll be very
major
good.
breakdown in SciSpace, and then one additional feature in Notebook LM. So I see that one person has a question. Nation John, you can go ahead and ask your question. Please, if you have a question, just raise up your hands. Use the hand raise button, and then you can go ahead. Nation, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Professor, thank you so much for this insightful section. Actually, this is my first time of hearing about this Scopus, and starting from though I joined late, but the little part that I watched, in fact, I really enjoyed it, and it's indeed a eye opener. So my question is this: as somebody who is really aspiring for a PhD and does not really have a clear direction on is our research area. How, I don't know if you could just briefly explain how I could leverage this Scopus to search my area of interest, so that I will be able to streamline, identify gaps that in existence, and know how to navigate my own aspects and how I can just arrive at what I would work on.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much. So if I understand you clearly, you want to know how you can navigate Scopus AI to find gap or to find what has been done in your research area. Do you mind sharing your research area with me?
Yes, it's basically technology integration and
Technology
integration.
Okay.
And educational assessments.
Okay, technology integration and educational assessment. In what field?
No, I studied early childhood education.
Okay, so you want to do a study that involves the integration of technology in doing any form of educational assessment, if I'm correct.
Assessment, yes. And if need be,
you want to focus it on early childhood.
So
yes,
what aspect of education do you want to focus on? Is it early childhood education or what is it?
Early childhood. Yes, for young children.
Okay, so technology education on, now you see this word educational assessment. We can change that and put early childhood, technology integration in early childhood education. So you see what we have done basically is we have the keyword, which is the integration of technology, but we had a broader word, which was education assessment. What do you intend to assess? So now you are more specific. You want to assess early childhood. So when we type this inside, it gives us papers that talks about this. So if you can see my screen now, it has brought out some papers that speaks about technology integration in early childhood education. So you can read these papers. If you read it and you are not satisfied with it, you click on expanded summary. What it does, it goes deep into the system, the database, and checks every paper that has to do with early childhood and technology integration and summarizes it for you at the end. In conclusion, the integration of technology in early childhood education offers benefits such as enhanced learning. Now, if you look at this summary, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. It could be just 7 lines, but it was gotten from, let's say, 10 or 15 papers. So what do I need to do next? I already know that there are papers that talk about that. What I need to do now is, what are the major problems? Okay. What are the major problems or challenges? Let me not put major, let me just put challenges. Challenges in technology integration in early childhood. correct this, challenges, and I search. So if you look at it now, the keyword I use, challenges, it's not going because there are no such papers that specifically speaks about the challenges directly. So I change this to problems, research problems. Research problems. And we'll click on it again and see. Now you see, first we wrote challenges. So when it checked the database, it could not see papers that was specifically talking about challenges, but it saw papers that address research problems in terms of integrating technology and early childhood education. So you see, we are now streamlining your gap. So if you go deeper and deeper and deeper, it will help you streamline your gap and give you answers to those research questions which you have. I hope I've answered your question.
Prof, you have answered my question. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, sir. We'll explore it more, as you have rightly said. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome.
Sunday Oladiran, you can ask your question.
All right, thank you very much for this session. It has been an eye-opener. I also want to appeal. There is this study I'm looking at for my PhD. I was looking at sugar sweetened beverages and obesogenic environment. That is obesity, obesogenic environments in secondary schools in Nigeria. So I don't know if you can help me with gaps using that Scopus AI so that I can further work on it.
No problem. Could you type it for me in the chat section so I can copy it faster? That way it works faster.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, I'll do that now.
So let's see if we can get school. If it's within the Scopus database, it will come out. In that case, it helps you narrow your gap and saves you the whole effort of reading hundreds of papers. Okay. Sorry, I was a bit fast because I have a class ongoing actually. And I engage my students. Okay. All right. Okay, integrating AI in teaching mathematics. Oh, there are so many questions here. The sugar guy. All right, beverage. Beverages and in secondary schools in Nigeria. All right, let me copy this out. Now let's go to Scopus and let's see what it has for us. So now I can see so many keywords in your research: sugar, sweetened beverages, and these medical terms. I can't pronounce them well, so I don't bite my lips. So here, let's try to remove in schools in Nigeria. Okay, for now. All right, sugar, sweetened beverages, and obsolete environments. All right. Now let's see what it gives us first. So you see, there's nothing that is giving us that relates to that. All right, so let me put the entire topic and see if I can rewrite it and rephrase it. Sugar, sweetened beverages, and obsolete environments. Now let's put impact of sugar, sweetened beverages. Okay. Now let's see. This should give us something. All right. So let's move sweetening. Let's remove sweetened. Now you can see the impact of sugar beverages. And so you see, if you look at your initial topic, let me type your initial topic here. Then you understand where the problem came, why we couldn't find stuff. You see these two words, they're almost the same thing. Is there any sugar that is not sweetened? I don't know. Are you there with me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you.
Okay, so there was confusion here. That's why he couldn't bring out papers. Not that there was no paper there. There were papers, but we could not see it because these two words could replace each other. So when we removed it, it was able to get papers for us. So now let me see in the context of Nigeria.
I've used hyphen.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's use in the context of Nigeria. Impact of sugar in Nigeria. So you see now. Hello? So you see, it has given us some papers and some problem. So we have seen the impact of these in Nigeria. And if I want to see how this is, let's see, the major problems you're having. Major problems. Let's see if I can get a research gap or research problems. Research. Problems of sugar bridges in Nigeria. Right, so we have a summary. Now let's go down to expanded view and let's see what it tells us. So let me give you I'll copy the summary and send it to you down. See, so you see it gave us 11 papers that you can build your literature on. Okay. So you have 11 papers that you can expand using other platforms to build your literature. That's the summary of what is that. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Sam, so that we don't keep you too long away from your student.
Thank you so much. Is it okay if I give I will give you my email and this thing, the login details much later, so that anyone who has access, you can easily control them. I will show you how it works, or you will have access to it, so at any time you can do it for them, since you have direct access to the participants.
All right, thank you so much for that offer. Also, at the end of the session, if you can also send me the slides, and as we discussed, because there's a certificate that goes out with attending the conference, with this webinar, but not just the webinar, but also joining the training institute, so that you can complete some tasks that are based off of what we've discussed today. So if you can come up with just a short, simple task that people can complete, so we can gauge understanding of the session, and then once they complete it, their certificate will be issued to them. If you've really learned a lot from Sam today, I wanted to just maybe thumbs up, whatever way you want to celebrate all that he has been able to impact us with. I wanted to just do thumbs up in the chat, in the group chat, in the WhatsApp chat. Also, you can.
Thank you so much.
You can inform everyone how informative this session has been.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to talk. Thank you so much, Afros.
Thank you so. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really
nice
to meet you guys.
We are looking forward to more of this.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Thank you so much.
We'll look into having him back again to do some more specific discussion around specific topics. So we'll do all of those conversations on the group chat and then decide how we want to proceed. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone.
You can head back to your class.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. We have 30 more minutes, and I would, like I mentioned earlier before the call started in the chat, that I will be demonstrating a new feature on Notebook LM. But I also prepared like a 20-minute session that I wanted to do on SciSpace. I didn't know he was going to mention SciSpace. So a couple of people have asked questions, and which I think is a challenge for us back home, the dollar-naira conversion, and the fact that, things are pretty hard, but how do we leverage these AI platforms so as to be able to also be beneficial to every one of us, and we are able to use it without so much restriction. So I will just throw out a few ideas that we can leverage on. So for example, some of them, they have the free version. Every one of those platforms always by default go for the free versions. That would help you. But for those that are not, maybe there's a particular feature that you want that is not on the free version, then I'll talk about how the best way to reduce cost, because it's definitely going to cost you, but how do you reduce cost? The second option is when you go to a platform like Scopus or site like one of the platforms you showed, they do not have a free version, but they do have maybe 7 days free trial, 15 days free trial. Most of them, those free trial, the way this platform works is they entice you with either the free version and then limit the feature, so that when you get used to using it, you will now be moved to subscribe for a paid version. But for some of them that don't give you a free version, they give you a free trial. Those trial is mostly full featured free trial. So the way that I have leveraged such things in the past is when I go on, maybe I've seen it being demonstrated. I've watched videos on YouTube on how to use it. Then I'm preparing that, okay, I want to use it. What I will do is I'll prepare all the things that I need and make sure that the 7 days of those trial, I will put in every resource and time to make sure that I do my work within those 7 days, so that every feature I'll be able to leverage on it. So for example, you are doing literature review and you've already known the materials you want to use, and you want to use this platform, and it only gives you 15 days, not free trial. So concentrate those 15 days and leverage on it maximally, so that at the end of the 15 days, you can discontinue and not have to pay. But that way you have used it successfully. Another option that you can use is if you need to extend the 15 days, you could actually just sign up with another free account. If you have multiple emails, you can just sign up for another 15 days. So that way you are able to leverage on the tool, but at a reduced cost. So in the event that, okay, maybe you want to pay, for example, like SciSpace that I will show us have maybe $8, $12. You can say, okay, I'm going to pay for 1 month, and then I will use that 1 month to the maximum. At the end of the 1 month, I will cancel. Whenever I'm ready again, I'll go and upgrade. So that's the way this platform works. You can downgrade, you can upgrade. So I know, okay, my research paper is this week or this month or next month. By first of the month, I sign up for maybe $8 or $12 and use it for the month. At the end of the month, I can cancel it. If I have a research for another month, maybe in 3 or 4 months' time, I can just pay for that month too. There are some of them also that you can partner with people and reduce cost. You can have 2 or 3 of you. If you are not, if you are students or lecturers or a researcher, you can get 2 or 3 people, create a generic account, and maybe each one of you take turns to make payments. So those are some of the ideas that you can leverage on. So and again, if you have any of these questions, you can post it in the group and we can further discuss it. So I'm going to share my screen now. I want to do a few demo on SciSpace. He mentioned SciSpace, and I think I had prepared something on that. It's going to be a practical session, so it's not going to have, I'm not going to be presenting a PowerPoint presentation or something. All right, so I'll do standard, I'll do this one. Let's see. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Okay. All right, he had mentioned this before. You can easily create an account by just going to typeset.io, and then I can log out. So you either sign up when you want to sign up. A lot of times it will give you option to sign in with Google, or you can create your generic account. So I've already created an account before, so I'm just going to click on this and then sign me in. All right, so I'm signed in. SciSpace is very robust in that it allows you to do a lot of things. So even if you don't have Scopus or you can't pay for it, SciSpace also, or if you have Scopus and you've only used the free version or the free aspect of it, and you are able to leverage on that to get all your resources. You can now come into SciSpace to further leverage on that. I'll talk about the pricing. So like I told you, some of them give you free version. So the free one has this much, and then the paid one, so you can only add 5 column. This one you can add 50 column. So you can play around with that. Maybe start using the free one. Again, most times I use free ones. Then if, for example, you need to upgrade, you can do monthly and just pay $12 for that month and focus on getting your job done that month. Then there are labs and university licenses. So if you are coming as an institution or a lab, so 2 or 3 of you can pay together, and then you pay $8 per month, and you have all the benefit of the premium and the basic all put together. If you are paying $8 per month for 2 people, you can just for $4, and you know you are getting value for what you're doing. So that's SciSpace in terms of the pricing. So I'm going to do a few things you can do with SciSpace. If you go, let me go to my library. No, sorry. So you can create a library, like Mr. Sam mentioned. You can get all the resources out and upload them and create a library. A library could be a folder of related materials that you are working on towards one topic. You have a topic, all the related materials to that topic, you put it in, you put it there, and then you are able to use what you need to use. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing. I need to fix something. All right. Okay. So that's it. All right. So with SciSpace, you can chat with PDF. We've seen that in a lot of other options, but I will look into this. You can do literature review. You can find concepts. You can extract data from PDF. You can also do citation generation, AI detector. We'll look at this in the area of paraphrasing. You can research PDF from PDF to video. So all of these are things that comes with the free tool, and you can use them basically for free tool. So let's start first with literature review. You want to do literature review, you just click on that. So I'm going to use, let's just wing it. Anyone want to suggest a topic? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to look at integrating AI in teaching mathematics in a primary school. All right, let's just look at this topic. So the topic I used is just, I copied the topic, was integrating AI into teaching mathematics in primary and secondary school. So by default, it gives you the top 5 papers. If you want to get top 10 papers, it should be premium. So 5 papers. And you can see this is even topics and researchers in Nigeria, actually. And this is July 1st, 2024. So it gives you those papers. You can further scroll down. You can save them to your notebook. That's where you create a library from. One good thing about this is you can see all of the details, sites, you can cite it, and then you can ask question on this particular paper, but let's not go there first. You can add additional column. So let's say, oh, you're saying TLDR means too long, didn't read, but you can have you can add columns. So I'm going to add a summarized abstract. So you have all of these columns that you can add. For the free version, you can add 5. You can always interchange them. So I'm going to add conclusion, and so it's going to generate conclusion for each one of them, or each one of the top 5 papers that I have. So it gave me 10, but it listed top 5. It summarizes the top 5 at the top, but listed 10 papers that he found. So I'm adding this. I can see the conclusion. I can remove conclusion and say, okay, I want to see the method used, the methodology used. You can see if there are specific method that the user used. You can see qualitative research method were predominantly utilized. So you can see this person analyzed 35 articles in Scopus. So for me, if I know that this person leveraged on Scopus so well, then I can prefer to use his own work, because I know he had access to a vast array of data to use. If I want to add another one called research gap, I can see what are the research gaps that this article addresses. You can want to say, okay, what are the problem statements? So you can add columns. You can play around with columns. Most of these systems, you can always game them. You can always find your way around them. So let's say I know I can only have 5. I can just be removing one, adding one, removing one, adding one until I've played around with all the options that are here. So that gives you that opportunity. Now, if you see anyone that shows open access, means you can download the PDF. So you see this one says open access, means I can download the PDF of this one. The ones that are not open access, you have to request for the PDF and hope that the person gives you access to it. So I'm going to download one because that's what I want to use in doing some other things. So this gives you all of this. If you click on any of the article, you click on it, it opens up in another page, and you can now begin to engage with the article. So there are some standard questions. So high quality will be paid. Best Copilot answer, blah, blah, blah. So this gives you standard. So you can ask questions from this paper. I can say, explain the abstract to me. And one good thing about it is, okay, so this is, you can ask it to explain the abstract to you, and it will search through the paper and explain to you what the abstract is. So these are generic questions. You can always ask your own questions. So you see, it gives you a summary. You want to ask, okay, what's the conclusion from the paper? So again, you are doing a literature review rather than doing all those laborious work of getting all these things done yourself. You can leverage AI. We've talked of NotebookLM and some of those other ones where you can download the sources yourself and upload them. But these are all research-based platforms. They are at the back end tied into a lot of research or journal platforms that they leverage on. So again, citations and all of that are made easier from from all of these platforms. So methods, so you can see a lot of questions that I can say literature survey for this paper. Show me what the literature survey is, and then it breaks down to you. So every one of these things you can engage with all of those papers or responses or literature review that you are able to pull out. And one good thing about SciSpace is every response you get as you continue to converse or chat with it, you can always save it to your notes. And so you love that response, you've fine-tuned it, and you've gotten everything you need, then you can pick it up and save it into your notebooks. And so these are all some of the questions. So this is an example of what you can do with drilling down into documents. You can also share it with people, copy the link and do that. You can cite it, and then it gives you the citation. MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard. It automatically just gives you that citation, and you can copy it immediately. So these platforms are tailor-made for students that are doing research, or lecturers, or people that are researchers in general. You can request for the PDF, and then this one you can bookmark this in a lot of collections. So I'm working on artificial intelligence in mathematics education. I can create a collection and give it a name. This is AI in maths. That's just it. Then I create that collection. So you see, so I begin to tag all my article in my collections, and I will be able to access them later on. Okay, so I'll go back here. Let's say like the one I said has open access. You can click on this and see the summary again. On every one of them, you can generate summary to just give you an overview of what the article is about, so that if it's not what you need, you don't have to waste your time on it. I'm going to download this PDF because I want to use it to do the next thing that I want. So this is one of the articles. So I will download the PDF. I'm just going to save it. in my download. Okay. All right, so these are some of the things you can do with the literature review. So even if you don't get access to Scopus, with SciSpace, you can do quite a lot in that you can look for research paper. It will give you the top 5 research papers out of, it will summarize the top 5, and it has criteria for determining which is the top 5, maybe their veracity, their number of citations, and how the quality of the work. It will give you the top 5, and then you can begin to leverage on all of those to do your work. So again, even if you don't have access to Scopus, you can leverage on SciSpace for that. All right, I'll go back to home, then demonstrate another thing. AI Writer is, if you want to write, you can, I think it's also called paraphrasing. So you can start writing, and then if you have an idea you want to leverage on, you can use AI, and it allows you 2,000 words before you are expected to upgrade. You can practice this all along as you go. Let me see. Okay, the other one I want to talk about is let me see, chat with PDF. So I have downloaded a PDF just now. Let me see if I can upload it. Let me pull it up. What's the title of that PDF? Excuse me. In mathematics. So I can upload the PDF. So this is a PDF. You see, I have a collection. I can put it in my collection and then upload. So it's uploading. It uploads my PDF. It has finished uploading it. I can select a section. Maybe I'm reading through it. I can do a literature review. I can summarize. I can result, practical implication, limitation. These are default questions to literally ask that PDF. But one cool thing about this PDF chat is I can select an area. Let me select this paragraph. Let's just say this paragraph. Select the introduction. Okay, let's say introduction. Select the introduction. Any text that I select, I have options. Can you explain it to me? Maybe you don't understand it more. You can say, explain it to me. And then the AI would look into that and begin to explain that section that you copied, and then explain it further. Then you can discuss even furthermore with that part of the explanation. So that's also a beauty of what you have here. Any text you highlight, you can say explain, or even summarize, or get related paper. Related paper around that particular text that you highlighted. So if I click on get related paper, maybe I see a concept within a subject, within a paragraph, and I want to see what others have said or written concerning this. I can use that to say get related papers. And it will take time to generate that. So you can have as many PDF as you want. Again, it's good. The best practices in stuff like this is you put in your topic, you get the relative papers you want, you select them, and then you create them in a folder, so that when you go back into that folder, you see all the documents that you have. You can see now it has brought up about, here are some related paper that spoke about this section that I have selected, and then I can further drill down into these areas. I can save them to my notebook. Again, you can change the language. I can say the tone, I want it to be academic. We will look at this when we get to, you can use this in the AI writer where you're trying to write something. You've maybe copied something and paste and written it out, but you want to either make it concise, medium, more detailed. You want to simplify it or make it even more academic. You can select all of these tones. You see expert, intermediate, beginner, bullet point, paragraphs. So you can change all of that with relation to whatever it is that you want to do. If you go into your library, it also lists everything that you have done and lets you see what you've done. This is the paper I charted with this paper. This is my first notebook. I didn't add anything to it, and the folder it's in AI Math. So it also journal what you've done relatively. And if you have folder, look at it. This is my folder of the first thing I did. I have 3 items inside of it. You can find concept, and this is where you also are able to look at what you want to do in terms of ideas and in terms of concept. There used to be paraphraser, but I think that's what they've turned to AI writer, where you can paraphrase. Okay, yeah, paraphraser. So let's take an example of this paraphraser. I copied a text. Okay, let me open. Okay, I'll copy this. I copy this text. Let's see, for example, copy this. So it could be a text that you particularly copied, or one that you've typed, or having collected a lot of articles and you have synthesized them, you've brainstormed and wrote out your point and all of that. You can bring it in here and paste it and ask it to paraphrase it. So you have 500 words at a time. You can gauge, you want it to be fluent, formal, creative, or very academic. So you're an academic, you're doing a research. This one has a lot of figures. So you can complexity. So you can paraphrase. I want it to be academic. You can also change the temperature, whether you want it to be expanded or shortened. This one tells you whether you want the changes to be medium or more or less. And so you paraphrase. And so it has taken this and you've paraphrased it. Like we used to say, and Sam also mentioned it earlier today, that the best practice is whatever you get from this tool, just don't take it, don't just copy and paste. Because as AI use is being adopted in universities, in institutions, especially if you are publishing on reputable platforms, they have a way of detecting whether you use AI. And so it's better you get the output and then you leverage on it to come up with your own way of presenting things. One good thing about SciSpace's paraphraser is you can also detect, you can do AI detection. So it has paraphrased it for you, and then you can check it for AI detection. So it shows you the text is moderately human. So the output of the text says 44% AI generated. Most of the text is written by a human. Some portion of the text was created by AI. So again, that's the reason why you don't always want to just copy everything. And again, so let's say, for example, you kept tweaking it until this SciSpace's AI detector tells you it's almost 99% human. If you take that, copy it and post it in your project, and maybe your supervisor or your school or the journal also have their own different AI detector, they will be able to probably detect what your AI detector didn't detect. So AI detector can detect another AI detector. So that's why it's necessary for us to approach these things with authenticity. And what the major word here is being able to do these things with appropriate citations and ethics in mind, so that we keep the ethical matters or issues are properly addressed in our use of it. All right, so for SciSpace, you can play around with all of this. Let's say you want to extract data from a PDF, you can look into that. So I won't just bother us with all of this. You can go and practice it. Also, it has a Chrome extension. You can install the Chrome extension. And so when you install the Chrome extension, it allows you to use SciSpace to leverage on websites that you open, so that you don't have to keep copying text from that website. You can, using the browser extension, and work directly on a website. You can also use on ChatGPT if you want. If you click on that, I think there's also SciSpace available on ChatGPT. So if you go to ChatGPT, like I say, explore GPTs, you can see SciSpace already available in ChatGPT. All right. So we have like 6 minutes more. I want to show us one new feature that Notebook LM introduced, which will be good for us. And I'm going to kind of like show us a few use cases that we can leverage this on. So I think during one of the webinar, the last webinar of creating chatbots, we created this policy, and I uploaded all of the policies that we have. But they now have a new feature that you can generate audio from the AI. In the platform allows you to generate an audio of all the articles, all the materials you put in, and then it generates it in a form of conversational engagement between two AI voices. And it's called podcast anyways. And what that does is they explain in details. They go through all of the documents you put in, and they have a conversation. One of the ways this can help you as maybe a researcher, a student, or a teacher. Let's start from a teacher. Let's say you use this. I'll give us an example. This is longer because it's 31, but let me play it. I think, let me see if I'm sharing my screen with audio. I'm going to share my screen again with audio so that we can hear how this goes. Oh, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Share with audio, notebook. All right. Can you see my screen? Okay, so I'll just play this, but then we'll do an example and then we round up. So use cases, let's say I've prepared this. This is, I'm an HR staff. I've prepared all of this, and I've generated a conversational podcast that discusses every aspect of the document so that people can even go and listen to it rather than watch. And then he also presents it in an explanatory way. So even as a teacher, after you have done all your coursework, everything you've planned it out here, you can generate this and give it to your students, and they can listen to it. And that way, they are also interacting with your material, even though they are not even in the notebook. So you can create an audio version of your class explaining your concept to them. As a researcher, you can do this for all your work and generate it and keep listening to it so that you get to understand and interact with your work. And let's say, for example, you want to do a presentation. You have a presentation in maybe in 2 weeks, and you have all your materials prepared, your PowerPoint slide and everything. You've loaded it here. You can generate this conversation so that it engages, and you see how your presentation goes, and you can listen to it and get to see how it is being explained. There are a lot of use cases, but let me play this one for you so that you can see, and then we'll do one example with just one. All
right, so you've sent over this pretty hefty stack of policies from Raffles American School.
Yeah.
Looks like we're really diving deep into how this school operates, everything from their big picture mission.
So I won't explain this for too long because I created this so that we can use it internally. But let me look back. Let me look at one of my notebook, which is, I created this during the conference. I have these 5 materials. I have created all of these notebooks. So there are 5 materials, and it's AI in education, embracing AI as your teaching assistant. For those of us that have not used notebook before, you can always create a notebook. It's free on Google. Once you create a notebook, to create a note, you can have multiple notebooks within your notebook. So to create one is just to click on create notebook, and then you can add your sources. You can add up to 50 sources. You can use YouTube link, website, Google Doc, Google Slide. You can copy and paste text. So you can pull all your resources together. Again, you can leverage on what you've done on Corpus, or what you've done on SciSpace, on what you've done on ChatGPT and all of that. Pull all of those together and bring it into Notebook LM. As we mentioned earlier, Notebook LM will not refer to anything outside the sources that you provide for it. So you can chat everything you can do on all the AI platform in terms of conversation. You can do it on Notebook LM, but it limits it only to the sources that you have supplied. So again, that takes care of not knowing which source, the authenticity of your source. You are doing a literature review. You already know you've used Scopus or SciSpace to get articles that you want to use. You've interacted with them. You've created notebooks and all of that, or notes. You can pull all of that into Notebook LM and use that to synthesize everything together and then do what I just want to show us now. So I have done research and done all of that, and I've uploaded all of these 5 documents. So if you click on Notebook Guide, you'll be able to do frequently asked questions, study guide, and then it will look at all the resources and create all of this timeline, briefing doc, and all of that. So what now you want to do is deep dive conversation. They just introduced this like a couple of months ago. Then you click on generate. Depending on depending on the volume of your source and the number, that's how long it's going to take. So we give it time. It's going to generate it. Once it generates it, you can download it and listen to it. But it's going to really be very conversational in terms of what in terms of your materials and all of that. Let's see how quickly this is done. While it's doing that, okay, can the voice be changed to sound Africa? I don't think so. Yeah, speaking of voice, I forgot to mention this on SciSpace. Let's look at one of the things we did. You can, yeah, I forgot. Okay, so on SciSpace, you can change languages. I think there are about 75 languages. Let me see if there's any Nigerian language. No, there isn't. So you can have all of this language. And in the paraphrase, where we did the paraphraser, you can change the language that you want it to paraphrase. Let's say English is not your original language and Chinese is. You can change it and say, I want it to be paraphrased in Chinese, and it will do the paraphrasing in Chinese. So that I was supposed to point out that, but I didn't say. So it paraphrased it for you in Chinese. You can change the language. Let's say I look for Arabic also, paraphrase. You can paraphrase it in. So I forgot to mention that. All right, let's go back to Google. Oh, still generating. In terms of the voice, they haven't implemented that changing of voice for now, but yeah, they haven't. There might be some AI tool there that when you download the audio, you can see if there are AI tool that can help you change the voice of the tool. I'm not sure. You can try that out, but this might take some time. Maybe I should just do with one document. I'm just going to copy this while this is generating. Let me create another notebook and just use just one small article and insert. So this is my source. It's pasted. I can create, like I said, create a frequently asked questions about just this short text. It's going to generate it. I can say table of contents. I can say briefing document. And so it will generate all of that briefing. So based on just this small article or this small text. So now let's see how quickly it will generate the conversation. I think this shouldn't take long because it's just a short one. Let me open it in another one. This one finished. Good. Okay, so the AI, embracing AI in teaching is done. So it's a 10-minute conversation. Let me see the other one that I just did. Okay, this one is yet to do. Where is it? Okay, it's still generating. So this one is done, and let's listen to it.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going way beyond just AI buzzwords and kind of diving deep into some real questions about AI's role in education.
Absolutely.
We've got a really fascinating collection of articles and research here.
Sure.
And I'm really curious to see how AI could really impact everything
So this is 10 minutes. Let's see the one we did with just a short article. So that's 4 minutes. So you see mind you, let me show you what we uploaded so that you can have an idea of this is what we uploaded, just a short summary. This is the text that we uploaded, just this. And then the AI, it doesn't take me 4 minutes to read this 10 or 15 line of sentences, but in expounding the conversation, the AI generated a 4 minutes conversation. So you can see that it's not just going to be, it's going to be expanding and providing more details into just the short things that you provided. That's why this is very powerful, especially for those of us teaching younger kids to getting this conversation going helps them also understand concept. And the beauty of it is you can download it and then share it with your class. So let's look at what you just brought out from these few sentences that we created.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep into AI and education today. And let me tell you, things are getting interesting.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. We've got a whole bunch of sources here, and some are super optimistic.
Like AI writing your essays for you, kind of optimistic.
Well, maybe not that far, but close. Some see a huge potential for personalization.
So each student gets their own custom learning plan.
Exactly. But then other sources are a little more cautious, pointing out some limitations we need to consider too.
So a healthy dose of reality alongside the hype.
Definitely. Which makes this deep dive all the more intriguing.
Okay, so first things first. What exactly are we dealing with when we talk about AI in education?
Well, we're mostly talking about these large language models.
Okay, so again, this will be part of the task that will be given for this module. Just create a notebook LM. For those of us that use for the module 2, some of us used notebook LM. If you have not done your module 2, just go in and do it. For those of us that did, we use notebook LM. You can generate this and see how it goes, and then you can practice with it. So this is where we would call it a day for today. There's also, before I open it up for questions, let me just say a few things. There's going to be another webinar next month in November. It's going to be the last Saturday of November. And we'll announce the top topic and the speaker in the coming days. So it's going to be on November 30th. That will be the last for this year. Then we'll resume back in January because in December is a festive period. So the webinar the module 4 will be, this is module 3. Module 4 will be in November, and then we'll skip December and start again in January. That's one. Secondly is, if you've not registered for a lot of people have registered for the TETC Training Institute, which is the platform where we are leveraging to collect the tasks and give certificates. A lot of people have registered, but not everyone is active. I would encourage us to go in there, and if you've registered, check your email. Your account must have been created, and you should be able to log in and complete your assignment. We have 2 modules already in module 1, module 2. So there's going to be module 3, and your task is just all the materials. Some of us asking for materials. The materials will be uploaded here, but we'll also provide a link for you to download the materials. So if you come in here, you'll be able to see, and then you have a task to perform. And then once you're done, your certificates will be issued to you. At the end of 12 modules, you get a certificate for level 1. That's it. One more thing that I also want to announce, this is the Tech Enabled Teacher is a platform where we hope to bring teachers together so that they can collaborate, learn, and then help one another. And so one of the things we're beginning from this month to introduce is an opportunity or to create an environment where fellow teachers amongst us that are either doing research, lecturers, students within the community that are doing research, and you have questionnaires and you have surveys. Discuss with admin when we have a conversation with you to know whether the project belongs to you and what is expected. Then we can get you to post the survey and encourage the community members, because it's a way for us to help one another. So if you are doing research, if you are doing your your project work and you want to do survey, there's a community of about 1,500 educators. It's a good place for us to help ourselves. And that's why we're trying to announce it to the body. If you have any project or research that you're working on, don't just post indiscriminately. You can engage with the admin. You can contact me directly. One of our team member will sit with you, talk with you to get the authenticity of what you're doing and whether or not it is relevant to us. Once we have that conversation, then we give you the go ahead. Either we post it or we give you the go ahead to post it. And so I just want to throw that out for all of us to help one another. And if you are helping people, people will also be able to help you. Everything we do, we try to make it as free as possible. And we want to just announce that kindly inform people, share the link to join the group with people, encourage people to join. And we have about 1,500 people, but we have less than 300 on our YouTube channel. So please go to our YouTube channel. EDK, if you can post the channels and the link to all our social media, and let's create a buzz about what is going on. We're already planning for next year's TETC conference. By January, we'll start giving us the detailed registration. Will open in January. It's going to be hybrid, to be physical and online. Where as the plan goes forward, we'll continue to encourage us. And this time around is going to be bigger. We're going to have breakout rooms and much more speakers, both local and international, join us to have that wonderful time. So thank you all. I just have 5 more minutes. If you have any question, please, you can ask your question. I think John says he has a question. John, go ahead. Let me unmute everyone, allow Mike. So yeah, John, you can go ahead and ask your question.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate this very illuminative class. God bless you. Now, my question is, I registered for the TETC platform, the institute, but I've not received any notification on my mail. And then, in fact, this is the training today. I just registered this morning and immediately I received an email. So I've not received any email for me to.
All right. So when did you register?
I filled the form already. A week or 2 weeks now I've done that.
If you have registered, most definitely you are. If it is 2 weeks ago, so let me see the best way to find out. What's your name? John?
Yes, John O. Ajao. You say John O. Ajao.
Yeah, you see, you already have an account. So please check your email, the email that you used in creating. Check your email. You already have an account. So you were 206, because we have about 300 participants. So you're number 206. Yeah, you already have an account. Please just check your email.
How can I join?
All right. Please, so at the end of this call, there will be if you are not in the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group.
I am on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, so we'll post the link to join the TETC. It's just a Google form, Microsoft form. You fill it, and in 24 hours you get your login details, and you will already be added to this class. And when you go into the class, just click on Notebook, and you will be able to see Module 1, Module 2. Sorry, click on Classwork. You see Module 1, Module 2. We'll put Module 3 before the end of this week. For the sake of those that are still joining, we would extend the deadline for all of them, all the 3 modules, till December 31st, so that we have time to do the assignment. There are going to be 12 modules. Every module you get a certificate, but the certificate is in partial fulfillment of requirement to get the TETC Level 1 certification. So at the end of the 12 modules, when you have all the 12, we've done all the 12 modules, then you get an official certificate for Level 1 certification. Again, we try, because we know teachers are important, and that's why we're trying everything possible to make sure that it's at a reduced cost. There's really no cost to it. What we just encourage people to do is announce it, publicize it, sign up for all our social media platforms and share and just share and reshare.
I need the WhatsApp link to join.
Oh, okay. EDK, can you put the WhatsApp link on the chat right now? On the chat of the webinar. The video for the webinar will be out within in less than 2 weeks, maybe before. Yeah, we'll try and make it before next week. Otherwise, it will be in 2 weeks' time, and it will be posted on YouTube. And we should be able to view it from there. I think that's basically everything. If you have a question, please post your question in the WhatsApp group, and we can take it up from there. All right, so the WhatsApp chat is posted there. If you join the WhatsApp group, in the WhatsApp group, we'll post the links to the TETC. Please check. For those of us that have filled the form prior to now, please just check your email. If you can't find it in your email, let me know, and then we will share everything with you again. All right. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you guys here, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful rest of your day.